BritScan, and I'm gonna access my file from the starters file. So go to exercise, third exercise, and just double click, and here we go. So this is a bucket assembly. So even with the Pro license, you can still open this type of models, and you can eventually edit some of these parts. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to go ahead and create a copy of this one. And let's go ahead and save it as before. Let's save for work right away. Give it that name. So the first thing we're going to do is extract a few boundaries that we're going to reuse after, and it's mainly for the placement of the new tooth of this bucket. So let's generate a boundary. What I did is select this face, and then I select the face on the back, and now from the quad, again, the quad kind of already knows my workflow, but if you don't get to see this little icon here to generate a boundary, let's go here to draw and generate boundary. What that does, it generates some polylines. And now we can actually get rid of the original crown. So this is what you will end up with. And now what I'm going to do is hide this the back profile, and then I'm gonna hide also the circle for the opening. And I'm just gonna come here in the quad. It might be easier for you guys to see it. From the selects, I'm gonna do hide, and this is what you should end up with. Now from here, I'm just gonna extract, and let's do 120. Okay. And now I'm gonna select the fillet because I don't really want them. And I'm gonna modify, so delete, and now we have a clean solid to start with. So the first thing we're gonna do is make sure that your edge detection is on. So that's once again here at the top. Now, as you can see, all my modes are on. This might be too much, but for now, I'm just going to leave it like that. So now I'm going to select this one, and all I did was select a bit longer, and the manipulator will appear. And from here, I'm going to move, let's see, I'm going to move it up about 67 units, and here we go. Now that this is moved, we're gonna go ahead and introduce some new faces to this. So the way we can do that is either by selecting this face. So I'm going to show you one way, and then I'm going to show you, so this is a bit long way, and then there's a easy way, just so you know everything that's available, of course. So let's go ahead and do the command solid edit, and then face. I want to copy, and this one. I'm going to use this endpoint, and just make sure that you're doing a 90-degree because this might then mess up your entire for the entire exercise. Is going to mess your model. Okay, and let's give it a distance of 100, and there's that. So that's one way of doing it. The other way is just selecting the face a bit longer so the manipulator will appear. And the reason that I prefer this is because you can always assure that you're locking the axis, so it's always going to be that 90-degree that you want. So let's give this 167. Okay. So once we have those faces, how about we go ahead and imprint them into the solid, and we can do that from here. I mean, you can write the command, but just in case you like to use the ribbon, you can find it here. And it's going to ask you first to select the solid, then the face you want to imprint. And if you want to delete the source, I'm going to say yes. And I'm still within the command. So now I'm going to select this one and yes. And here we go. Our faces are now imprint. And the reason for this is because then we have actual faces to manipulate instead of having to draw a line here, another line here, and then line to create boundaries. So this is a faster way to create those faces to manipulate. Now we will go ahead and work with some of our oh, what is that called? I forgot. So we have this command dm recognize, and I said to you to put a value, so it's 256, but I'm going to come here for a second to my options so you know exactly what this do. DM recognize. What this do is put constraints on the 3D geometry. So this is separate from the parametrics that you saw yesterday. This is while you're manipulating some of those geometry, and right now the value I gave you, what it does, it enables this one right here, enables edges between the coincident faces. So now we can go ahead and select this face, then this one, and we're gonna use our push pull. And let's give a value of 30. There we go. It's looking something a little bit more like something. And now we're gonna fix this edge. So come here. If you're on the workspace of modeling, you don't have to go to parametric. You can already see here some parameters, constraints for the geometry. So let's do a fix. Then here. And now we are going to rotate the middle face. So this one, again, you can use this tool here, rotate. So it's just a command rotate, or you can just select a bit longer and the manipulator will appear. I'm just gonna put it here and we're gonna move it inward, downwards. So let's do 5. There we go. And we're gonna do the same thing here under. Go. All right, now that we have this shape, now let's take a look at the top view. And I'm gonna select the edges to add some fillet, but just the horizontal edges. And I'm gonna do that by doing this selection window, so the green one. And I'm gonna toggle through what the entities I want to select, because I only want to select edges. And now this should be it. And we can now add a fillet. Okay, and let's do a value of 6, and here we go. So now that we have that, how about we add a protrusion feature on top of this crown? So how are we going to do that? Let's go ahead and draw just a 2D rectangular on top of this face. For those of you who are not familiar, you can see that the UCS adjusts temporarily. So if I hover out of that face, now my UCS are world UCS. If I come here, it's gonna change. And also what I can do is lock it. So I know it's not gonna change last minute. And second, let's say you have to draw somewhere else, you can. So let's start here with this midpoint, and I'm gonna do value of 2 and then 200, and here we go. So here it is, and I'm going to use this as this 2D line to now extrude. Now make sure that when you extrude as a unite. So I'm going to, before I give a value to extrude, I'm going to type U, and now I'm going to give, I'm going to extrude 20. Sorry, I'm not sure. I'm just trying to be consistent with the user guide we give you guys. So I believe it was 60. No, it was not 60. That's too big. So U to unite, and let's just do 20. Now I'm gonna come here and do 20. I'm just using the push-pull because everything is already united. And now I'm gonna rotate here this top. Again with the manipulator, so you can either do a rotate or manipulator, but I will continue doing with the manipulator. Here it's gonna do 16, and then I'm gonna come here to the top view, and I'm gonna do a rotation of 80 degrees. So I believe this is it for the crown itself. Now we're ready to create some holes, and we can do that with the boundaries we generated earlier. So if we come here in the quad and say bring everything back, so show all, now we can see that we have those 2D entities, and now I can easily with my boundary just go ahead and first extrude this one. So I'm going to do the extrude, and let's do, I guess 58 should be enough. And now I'm going to use this one to create the other holes. So subtract, and here we go. Just going to come to my structure browser and get rid of those entities because I don't need them anymore. And last, let's go ahead and add some fillet here. Value of 6. Here we go. So that's it for this one. And now if you were to, so I'm just gonna save this, close it. Let's say if you have this bucket assembly, you can always open the mechanical browser. And we can go ahead and save replace all inserts. And as you can see, now everything got replaced.